Thank you for being with us on the Feast of St. Catherine of Siena, Doctor of the Church. Our top story tonight, President Joe Biden's top diplomat says a long-sought ceasefire in Gaza is now all up to Hamas. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is once again back in the Middle East, his seventh trip there since the war broke out in October. Blinken also says Israel must do more to increase the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza. White House Correspondent Owen Jensen reports. Owen?
Tracy, good evening to you. Yes, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to the Middle East coincides with deadly Israeli airstrikes overnight in Rafah, another missile attack by the Houthi rebels targeting a ship, student protests on U.S. campuses, and Hamas still holding around 100 hostages.
In Rafah in southern Gaza, multiple people reported killed in Israeli airstrikes. And as the war continues without end, the U.S. sends its top diplomat back to the region. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, trying to secure a ceasefire and the release of hostages, tells a World Economic Forum gathering in the Saudi capital.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous. On the part of Israel.
In his comments, Blinken, who will also visit Jordan and Israel on Tuesday and Wednesday, emphasized it's time for Hamas to make a decision.
The only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas. They have to decide, and they have to decide quickly.
As Blinken urges Hamas to accept a deal, President Joe Biden pushes for Israel to open more humanitarian corridors into Gaza. He spoke to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu Sunday. The White House says the two leaders also reviewed ongoing talks to secure the release of hostages, together with an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. With renewed concerns about the conflict spreading in the Middle East and colleges around the country imploring student protesters to clear out tent encampments, the White House saying today,
we're going to continue to say all Americans have the right to peacefully protest. At the same time, we have to call out any hateful rhetoric that we hear. Anti-Semitism is wrong.
Biden and Netanyahu also discussed Rafah. The president wants Israel to avoid a large ground offensive in the area where many Palestinian civilians seek shelter.
President Biden also scheduled calls today with the leaders of Qatar and Egypt to discuss the situation in the Middle East. And tomorrow, President Biden heads to Wilmington, Delaware for a campaign event. And on Wednesday, former President Donald Trump will hold two campaign events in Wisconsin and in Michigan. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.